Kevin sat in the upscale downtown restaurant, waiting. Noonday sun filtered through the window on the round table for two. The walls featured abstract art that echoed the streaks of light from the spotlight sunken in the ceiling. The dominant feature of the room was a concentric drop ceiling with an illuminated metallic 10 black circle with a round chandelier hanging by a cable. It was like a shimmering basket where dimly arabesque patterns and points of light shone through. The center of the restaurant displayed a hologram of a couple having a picnic in a meadow. Kevin wore his tan jacket with the leather elbows, and he glanced around the room, taking it all in. Places like this seemed strangely out of place compared to the economic decay outside the banking district. Since he was a child, it seemed money kept getting tighter for guys like him, while the barons just got richer. There was the electricity energy crisis, the banking crisis and the short, sharp shock that followed. Since then, things stabilized, or maybe just his own situation stabilized. He was developing a vague optimism regarding his future and hoped that it would include a partner and maybe a white picket fence, whatever that was. Kevin took another sip of his coffee and looked over his shoulder toward the entrance, and stood as Jade entered. She looked apprehensive but smiled. Kevin returned hers with his knowing smile. Her hair looked freshly waved and bounced as she walked, and her dark double-breasted coat opened in the bottom revealing bare legs and red kitten heel shoes with black tips. She hung her jacket on the coat rack then tucked in her short floral patterned skirt as she sat. Kevin felt underdressed and decided it was time to add to his wardrobe.
You look great.
He saw before him the same woman he had been so attracted to and regretted the way he reacted.
Thanks,
answered Jade, not returning the compliment. Jade avoided eye contact. She turned over her coffee cup and swirled her finger around the rim. Kevin shifted in his seat.
Looking at you makes me want to go shopping for some new clothes, but I never know what to buy. I don't know what looks good.
Oh, I could help you with that. I might know a thing or two about shopping.
That would be solid. How about after lunch, I could rent a beaver and we could go to demo shops at Kingsway.
Okay.
Kevin thought she acted distant. Perhaps she was on guard against any homophobia he might have, or that she thought he would no longer want to explore their budding relationship. Kevin had felt he was the one that was wronged but changed his mind and now he took up the challenge to win her over.
Then I could take you shopping and buy you a new pair of shoes.
She looked up with a twinkle in her eye. He might have found a chink in her armor. A waiter poured coffee for Jade and topped up Kevin's.
But first, let's do lunch.
They both perused the menu and Jade ordered a Caesar's salad with a skinless chicken breast and Kevin ordered a bison hamburger with fries. The awkwardness had passed, and Kevin updated her on his contact with the apostles. Jade ate half the salad and chicken and placed her knife and fork on her plate. Kevin ate everything and wiped his fingers with the napkin. Jade casually glanced at the entrance as she spoke like she did the last time they were at a restaurant together. Kevin wondered if this was a leftover from her time as a bodyguard. He understood something about old trauma. Kevin was engrossed with her stories about work at the bar and the drama between her coworkers.
So, Bob, the bouncer, was hot for Alice, a cute little blonde waitress, just out of high school. She had a boyfriend and wasn't interested. He had been flirting with her and trying to touch her, but she kept telling him no. He didn't get the message and kept coming after her. One night, he caught her in the cooler and pinned her in the corner with his fat little body pressing up against her and his little boner sticking out in his pants. He scared her to tears and I could hear her crying. I totally lost it. I walked in and yelled, "What the fuck do you think you are doing?" I was furious. I yanked him off her and punched him right in the nose. I never thought a prick could go limp so fast. He scurried his fat little body out of there and never came back.
You've earned a reputation there.
Not just there, I'm afraid.
Kevin paid the bill and voice commanded his one to call a beaver. By the time they got to the street, a blue two-seated autonomous car was pulling up to the curb. He tapped his one and the door opened. Jade got in first and tucked her skirt under her legs, and Kevin slid in next to her. Kevin glanced at her shapely legs and skirt and wondered what she had underneath. He was surprised the mystery got him interested. Kevin felt uneasy and wondered if he was turning gay. He was never aware of any homophobic feelings toward anyone else but questioned why he would have homophobic feelings towards himself. I haven't changed and gay and straight are just words. Just words. Besides, she's woman enough for me. He wanted to hold her hand to make up with her, but wisely took it slow and cool. He commanded the Beaver to go to Kingsway Mall, and it crept into the traffic lane while another autonomous car waited. Jade looked at her one. There was a group of rough, masculine-acting women loitering around the seedy 107 Avenue. Kevin asked,
"Are they lesbians? If they are, they look sicker and skinnier than any lesbians I've ever seen."
They're femme males. A few years ago, some meth heads found out that if they take estrogen, the meth high gets a lot better. It increases dopamine or something, and that was why meth is more addictive to women than men. So now they take estrogen meth speedballs all the time. Some use their feminine bodies and turn tricks to feed their habits.
That's so sad.
What can you do? Check out Berg's and see if they have anything you like. I'll look at the sports jackets first.
Kevin looked up the site for Berg's formal menswear and started browsing through their inventory. 10 minutes later, they felt the tracks of the LRT station and entered the Kingsway Mall parking lot, which was sparsely filled with single-owner cars, but uniformly spaced autonomous vehicles circled the mall like the rings of Saturn until reaching their destination. They approached Berg's and their car left the procession to pull up alongside the curb. They both got out and the Beaver waited for a car to pause before it inserted itself, to join the rest of the cars with the choreographed precision of a ballet. They each tapped their driver's licenses on the scanner and the glass door slid open.
"Welcome, sir and madam, to my little shop. My name is Valentine, but please call me Val. Please have a look around and I will be happy to assist you."
They were greeted by a hologram of an elderly tailor in a smart suit and a measuring tape draped around his neck. He looked over small round glasses and had a warm, welcoming smile. The hologram's shop was indeed quite compact, but it was larger than a counter-service store with banks of change rooms on the left, a return bin with a conveyor belt leading to a back room on the right and a pickup area in the middle.
"Would the gentleman like me to take his measurements?"
The hologram flickered.
Yes, thank you.
It was a particularly Canadian habit to be polite to holograms. Val deftly took his measuring tape and pantomimed measuring his waist, his inseam, his arm, and his neck while invisible lasers did the real work.
"We have some sports jackets on sale starting at 145 loonies, if you are interested, sir."
He waved his hand toward a large touchscreen, which changed to a selection of sports jackets. Jade noticed it displayed the same items she had searched up on the way.
"May I be so bold as to recommend the tweed blazer?"
Jade stepped up to the screen and swiped to the left to see more.
How about this one?
She pointed to a gray tweed jacket.
"Oh, the lady has taste. Well done to bring her today, sir. The ascot is very popular this spring and comes with matching pants. I'll have my assistant fetch it for you right away."
Jade was in her element and kept swiping past the jackets while Kevin looked over her shoulder.
How about this one? It's on sale for 125 loonies.
It's too cheap. How about something a little higher end and including pants?
Kevin was feeling flush from the substantial income from his new employment. After their recent interactions, McPherson doubled his daily rate without being asked.
Okay, that opens your horizons a bit. Oh yeah. Look at this. A charcoal gray suit. I could wear my little black dress, and we would look great together.
This encouraged Kevin that she included him in her plans and also liked the idea of seeing her again in a little black dress.
Val, can you get one of these?
"Of course, madam, excellent choice. It will accentuate your trim physique, sir."
The first jacket appeared on a vertical hook attached to the conveyor and was deposited on a stationary clothes rack.
"Your first sports jacket has arrived, sir. Would you like to try it on?"
Kevin picked it up and carried it to the changing room, and Jade waited with excitement outside the door. Soon Kevin reappeared and looked at himself in the mirror. He noticed Jade was standing behind him, looking him up and down. She licked her lips and smiled. She was thoroughly enjoying this, and Kevin thought he was making progress with her.
It's a little baggy in back but looks great, bud, they can tailor it for you.
Your second suit is ready for you, sir.
Kevin took it to the changing room. The pants were too long and had no hem on the bottom, but the fit was close enough.
Wow.
He changed back into his old clothes and put them on the return conveyor.
I'll take both of them, Val, and I would like to have them tailored.
Very good, sir. Since this is your first time visiting my humble haberdashery, I'll tailor them at no charge.
Should I come back tomorrow or have them delivered?
You don't have to. They have automated tailors that can do it in 15 minutes. The conveyor will take them to a robotic CNC that'll cut it exactly to fit. They automated everything here. They don't even have any full-time employees. When you order something, robotic pickers take it off the shelf and put it on the conveyor. When you return items, the conveyor either takes it to the tailor machine or to the folder before the pickers put it back.
Cool.
Was all he said. He thought he was the expert on technology, but Jade was evidently more up on the shopping part. While they waited, another customer entered the shop. They heard Val's voice speaking to him, but from their angle, they didn't see the hologram. Soon, Kevin's clothes were ready. He picked up the two bundles and noticed they were both still quite warm from being pressed and inhaled the intoxicating smell of new, unwashed fabric. His favorite part of shopping.
Now, I think we'll need some new shoes.
We don't have to do that today if you don't want to. Sometimes men get tired from shopping too much.
It might not be my favorite, but I'm on a roll and would like to get it done in one day, before I get swamped with work.
They exited the shop and walked to the mall's main entrance. It was emblazoned with batteries of televisions displaying huge video clips of models wearing the latest fashions. Some shops were permanently closed, but there was still a stream of customers strolling back and forth from stores and food courts. Jade found her favorite shoe store and took the lead in choosing 2 new pairs for Kevin and 1 for herself. As they left the store, scanners detected the tags on the shoes and beeped, showing it charged his credit. His one's haptics tapped his forearm as a sign he received the receipt. Kevin held the bags and Jade tucked her hand in the crook of his arm as they approached a waiting Beaver. Kevin habitually took the driver's side.
Destination 10642 103rd Avenue.
They chatted about Jade's fitness class as they approached her soaring apartment building. Kevin reached over and held her hand. Jade stopped talking, then looked deeply at Kevin.
I haven't been as upfront as I should have been in the past, but I'm going to be now. I have fully functioning male parts. I have a penis. I'm happy with my body, but I'm not sure if you are. At least not yet. It was nice spending the day with you. Thanks for the shoes. They're lovely.
She smiled and gave him a little wave as she opened the car door and approached the grand entrance of her high-rise apartment. Jade glanced over her shoulder to see Kevin still watching her, wide-eyed like a love-struck teen. She waved again with her head held high and hair bouncing and shining in the late spring sun.